It's February 26, 2015, in a quiet Leipzig suburb. Maximilian Schmidt, a 20-year-old hunched over his keyboard in his bedroom, is surrounded by dozens of neatly packed parcels filled with cocaine, ecstasy, LSD, and a small bag of gummy bears as a gift. But something's wrong. Police sirens pierce the air. Before Max can react, his door is kicked down. Officers storm in, guns drawn, shouting for him to hit the floor. They tear through his room, finding a crumpled note with a Bitcoin wallet password, but it's only a fraction of his fortune. This isn't just a drug bust. This is the takedown of the largest online drug empire ever run by a single teenager, known as Shiny Flakes, who amassed over 15,000 Bitcoin, a fortune that could make even hardened criminals jealous. Dubbed the Drug Dealer 2.0, Max ran his operation right under his mother's nose, from a tiny bedroom in Leipzig, Germany. His personal Instagram, Shiny Flakes, has been silent since November 2023. 7 years after his release from prison, what is Max doing now? Where are those 15,000 Bitcoin? And was he truly a genius, or just a reckless kid caught in his own game? Stick around to uncover the rise, fall, and controversial comeback of the teenager who rewrote the rules of online crime. But first, how does an 18-year-old outsmart the dark web to become the youngest, richest drug lord in history? Maximilian Schmidt grew up in a modest Leipzig apartment, living with his mother and her boyfriend. His bedroom was his fortress, a private world where no one, not even his mom, was allowed to enter. She barely noticed her son, leaving baskets of laundry outside his door. At school, Max was a ghost. Bullied by peers, ignored by teachers, he was consumed by loneliness. It gnawed at him, pushing him deeper into the digital world. He craved power, recognition, something real life never gave him. But what could drive an ordinary teen to the dangerous path of crime? At 18, Max dropped out of culinary school. He had no real-world friends, but online, he was king. Internet forums were his playground, where he connected with strangers over games, tech, and darker corners of the web. One day, an anonymous user sent him a link to Silk Road, the dark web's infamous black market for drugs, weapons, and anything illegal, all paid for with Bitcoin. Max didn't use drugs, but the profit margins blew his mind. Browsing listings for cocaine, ecstasy, and weed, he saw an opportunity. A bold idea sparked. He could outdo Silk Road. Was this just youthful arrogance, or the first step into the abyss? Max wasn't content to be a small-time dealer. He wanted to dominate. In 2013, at just 18, he taught himself to code and built a website called Shiny Flakes. What stunned police later? He didn't hide it on the dark web. He launched it on the clearnet, the regular internet, searchable via Google. Hosted on servers in the US, protected by Cloudflare, his site was nearly impossible to trace. Shiny Flakes was a masterpiece, a sleek interface, professional product listings like Amazon, high-quality photos, 5-star customer reviews, and an FAQ answering everything from, "How do I pay?" to, "Is this safe?" Max contacted a supplier on Silk Road, alias Black Bull, and ordered bulk cocaine and MDMA. He knew nothing about drugs, but as a child of the internet, he learned fast. He studied packaging, photographed products on his Xbox's glossy surface, using his TV as a backdrop for a professional vibe. Every parcel was a work of art, complete with a bag of gummy bears or snacks, a gimmick that drove young customers wild. Shiny Flakes wasn't just selling drugs, it was selling an experience. But why would a teenager dare to build such a brazen, public empire? Within weeks, Shiny Flakes exploded. From December 2013 to February 2015, Max sold nearly a ton of drugs, hash, cocaine, ecstasy, LSD, prescription pills, across 14 months. The craziest part? His mother, living just steps away, had no idea her son's bedroom was the nerve center of a multi-million-dollar drug operation. Max used Germany's postal service as his unwitting couriers, shipping to Europe, Asia, and even Colombia, the cocaine capital. Payments in Bitcoin ensured anonymity. At its peak, he handled 15,000 orders daily, raking in thousands of euros a day. By the end, he amassed 15,191 Bitcoin, worth 4 million euros then, and tens of millions today. Yet, Max didn't spend the money. No cars, no vacations, no lavish dinners. To him, it wasn't about wealth, it was about winning. Each completed order, each Bitcoin payment notification was a dopamine hit. He loved outsmarting dark web rivals, relishing the feeling of invincibility. But running a one-man empire? That was his fatal flaw. How could a teenager manage thousands of daily orders without slipping up? Max got cocky. He shipped from the same Leipzig post office using different mailboxes but not sophisticated enough to cover his tracks. He stored customer data, names, addresses, orders, on his computer, breaking his own privacy promises. One day, a chatty customer's package was intercepted by police. They traced the shipment, staked out Leipzig post offices, and zeroed in on Max. Police struggled to track him. Cloudflare refused to cooperate due to privacy policies. But Max's mistake was in logistics. Undelivered packages with no return address piled up at the post office, and inspections revealed drugs. Cameras were set up, tracking every shipment, until they pinpointed Max. On February 26, 2015, police planned their raid. Sirens blare, the door splinters, and officers storm in, pinning Max to the floor. They seize over 100 kilograms of drugs, cocaine, ecstasy, LSD, worth 4.1 million euros. They cracked his computer, uncovering a customer list that made officers cheer, a goldmine of evidence. They found 10 of his 12 Bitcoin wallets, but recovered only 1,197 Bitcoin. The remaining 14,000, locked in wallets only Max knew the passwords to. Or hidden somewhere else? Did the police really seize his fortune? Or is Max still holding the keys? At 20, Max was sentenced to 7 years under juvenile law, as prosecutors deemed him emotionally immature. But prison didn't stop his ambition. From the prison kitchen, Max allegedly plotted new schemes. Some sources claim he ran drug operations while filming Shiny Flakes, the Teenager Drug Lord, a 2021 Netflix documentary detailing his empire. Critics noted his smug confidence, hinting he'd never quit. Who drinks will drink again. Prison, instead of reforming him, became a crucible for his criminal dreams. How could a prisoner keep running an empire from behind bars? Max was released early in 2019 after 4.5 years, but freedom was fleeting. In 2021, police uncovered candylove.to, a new drug site mimicking Shiny Flakes. Max was accused of being part of a 6-person group moving 16.5 kilograms of amphetamine, 2.5 kilograms of hash, 500 grams of meth, and 350 grams of cocaine. Arrested in 2023, his conviction was overturned in November 2024 by Germany's federal court. Now free in Leipzig, awaiting retrial, his Instagram shiny.flakes has been silent since November 2023. No one knows what he's planning, or if he still controls those Bitcoin. Has Max learned his lesson, or is he brewing a new empire? The biggest question lingers. Where are the 14,000 Bitcoin? Worth hundreds of millions today, they could make Max one of the richest criminals alive. Some speculate he moved them to anonymous wallets before his arrest, possibly with help from dark web contacts. In prison, he may have used encrypted apps like Wicker or Telegram to manage his assets. Why did Max relapse? Was it the thrill of power, or could he not live a normal life? Max isn't your average criminal. He's a brilliant but arrogant teen, caught in a game he thought he'd always win. Are those Bitcoins still in Max's hands, or did he lose them in another gamble? Money comes and goes, but time never returns. Maximilian Schmidt was a genius and a fool. He could have used his mind to build a legal empire, or at least a smarter exit plan. But hubris and the thrill of invincibility pulled him back to crime. Even prosecutors saw him as a kid who never grew up, sentencing him under juvenile law. Now, with his Instagram silent and a new trial looming, what do you think of Shiny Flakes? A criminal mastermind, or a reckless teen who couldn't stop? Where are those 14,000 Bitcoin, and is Max planning a bigger heist? If you were Max, what would you do with 14,000 Bitcoin? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more thrilling crime stories.